What's up, dudes and dudes? Here in a minus Scyushi, we have some more Trove to the Trove. We're not in game today, okay? This is going to end up being a bit of a different video because we don't have anything to show you in game yet, but oh my god. It's finally happened, you guys. So you remember how we've been speculating what's going to end up happening with the Trove test server. So as part of the content creator program, I kind of get an inside scoop on things. And the developers basically said that they were hoping to get the PTS up this week or next if they couldn't get it up this week. So I'm guessing that we're going to see it come up next week because they've been running into issues. The other big thing that we've been speculating is what would end up actually being with the update, which more than likely I was kind of under the impression that we would have the new block stat or feature added to the game, because when they talked about what was coming for Trove at the developer live stream, they talked about blocking first and then said that Mystic Gems would be a little bit later in the year. Turns out that's dead wrong. Mystic Gems are coming. Like within probably a month, because when the test server goes available either this week or next, I mean, probably just next week, because usually it's Tuesday or Wednesday is when it goes live. We've already got a whole bunch of data and assets and stuff like that. I'm just going to start putting some of this stuff on the screen just because it's absolutely insane. So first of all, here's the gem boxes. We can see that we have gem boxes of each elemental type. And somebody also data mined and can confirm that these boxes will drop from D15. Thank God. But the problem is that there's still a lot of evil around this update. Some stuff that I highly disagree with, but I will get into it. Generally speaking, the Mystic Gems seem to be, how do I put this politely? You know how we have gem sparks? Well, they have Mystic Gem Sparks, a new resource. So all of our current resources are basically just kaput. They don't do anything. Kind of expected it. Trove, in its parasitic design, it always likes adding something new that players can't stock up or prepare for. That doesn't necessarily mean that we can't upgrade gems with the sparks, or maybe have the sparks crafted into the Mystic Gem Sparks or something like that. I personally hate this decision, most of all because of a design standpoint. I think that it becomes way too convoluted. Like, gems are already such a confusing aspect of this game that the new tutorial doesn't teach players about at all. Let's be real. And now they're going to be adding another layer on top of the complexity where it's like, okay, gem sparks, gem converters, and all this stuff for crystal. Here's the same thing again, but for Mystic. And it's like, it just blows my mind. Like, it just feels like it's a very, no offense, it's a very low effort input of, okay, we got to throw Mystic Gems in the game. How do we make it so that players can chase this for a long time? Well, here you go. Just crystal gems worked for us. Let's just do the same thing again. Great idea, Bill. You guys know me. Like, I don't care if I'm part of a content creator program. I'm gonna criticize what I want to criticize about this game because I love this game, and my God, there are things that I just very, very much question in their decision making. Now, that said, maybe my outrage is unwarranted. Maybe you guys will, be a little bit more calmer about it. Sound off in the comments. Am I crazy? Am I thinking it's a little bit too extreme? Most of all, I just think to the average player and how difficult it is for them to get up to crystal gems in the first place, and now there's gonna be Mystic Gems on top of it. And as if that wasn't crazy enough, we do also have confirmation that there is going to end up being gem converters in the store for specifically crystal upgrading into Mystic. Now, those of you that have checked out my live streams and also checked out my VODs have known that, or my stream highlight videos, I hate this. I think that this is really, really stupid because that's just going to end up being a beginner's trap where a player might accidentally buy it. If we can buy it for qubits, okay, whatever, but I still think it's going to be way too expensive for qubits because, frankly speaking, there's already too many things in this game's shop that drain your qubits. The reason I don't like it is because what I wanted as an alternative, maybe it wouldn't have been a better solution, but I think that they should have just gone the route of, instead of, this weird new item, maybe make it so that we end up getting, like a bunch of different crafting materials that we could use to then forge up the gear or something. Like, make it a little bit more impactful instead of just a conversion of gems again, you know, like that's my main complaint so far. And granted, I haven't messed with any of this stuff on the test server yet, but I just think it's treading old ground again. You know, it's like the game didn't need it. It most certainly doesn't like have any smart way or exciting way of implementing it. That's by the looks of it, but whatever. Anyway, I hate this video getting off to such a negative start, but frankly speaking, I just find it very odd. Now, that said, you can craft the gem converter for this amount of resources. I'll just let that sink in for a moment. Atrocious. Absolutely. To whoever decided that was going to be the crafting cost, like, oh my God. Now, that said, maybe I can end up getting some of my gems strong enough that I could solo the depths, and then I could actually grind the, you know, souls of the depths and crap like that. But here's the problem. In order to solo the depths in the first place, for somebody like me who likes doing a lot of my content myself, you know, I don't typically end up grinding with a group, you know, because all my friends over the years have moved on from Trove, so I don't really have anyone to grind with. And those of you that, you know, are more than willing to grind with me, I'm not gonna put, you know, I'm not gonna, I live by my own schedule. I'm not gonna log in during a specific time and be like, okay, boys, let's grind the stupid delves. Because that's the real thing too, is at the end of the day, I hate the delves. It's one of the most boring parts of the game by far for me. So the idea that I would have to grind like hundreds of items in a new stupid depth delve just to end up upgrading my mystic gems in the first place, like, oh God. I just really hope that as far as the cash shop is concerned, because I'm just gonna go the pay to win route. Let me clarify. I want to go the pay to win route. But as you guys have probably seen in my more recent videos, credits are way too expensive for me. My Canadian dollar is like 60 cents on the US dollar right now. It is ridiculous for me to buy credits in Trove because there's no conversion. There's no local currency option. It's literally just US. So if I buy like $100 of credits in this game, it costs me like close to 150 bucks, if not more than that now, with my money being Garbo. And I just can't afford it, you know, with baby Leon and stuff like that. I'm sorry to say. So it might be a while before I end up getting my hands on the full mystic gems, honestly speaking. There are going to end up being imp gem boxes. So there's also going to end up being an image of the new gem spark. So again, this is the mystic gem spark, not to be confused with the normal gem sparks that we have currently. Someone did data mine the cost to craft the empowered boxes. And again, it's too expensive, dude. So unless this update comes with some sort of overhaul that allows us to grind depth cores and depth items, you know, a lot more efficiently. Like the mystic resources are still they're still out of reach. They're still a little bit too hard to obtain, in my opinion. And that's what makes this whole update feel so egregious to me, because this is just going to be something that'll affect like the 10% of players that are at the end game and strong enough to be able to have hundreds of these resources, rather than it being something that actually affects, you know, everybody else, including me. But anyway, what else do we got to look at? We also have the new sigils, and check this out. We've got sigils from 55k PR to 65,000 PR. Now, don't get too ahead of yourselves. If Trove was a more popular game and there was a lot more clickbait out there in regards to this game, you would see people saying 65k PR is coming. No, it's not. The 50k PR sigil has been in the game for years. It's just now with this update, we'll more than likely be able to reach it. So this 65k PR sigil is basically them just future-proofing the game, getting things ready for when we inevitably get to that point. Because you know what they're gonna do. They're gonna add like mystic rings, a mystic banner, or torch. You know, it's all just going to end up changing and slowly upgrading more and more and more and more and more, rather than having meaningful content ideas. There's also the sigils for mastery, and these were the ones that we got to vote on. So that's pretty cool. I think that's nice and impactful. I love the idea that we ended up voting on those. I want to see more of them. Here is a placeholder of a mystic light, like baby water gem. And then I think this is supposed to be a mystic empower gem, right? Something like that. I might be mistaken because the ring around it is still radiant for some reason. I don't know. I guess no, it is a radiant. Okay, that's just a prismatic gem. I don't know what the point is of that image, but anyway, it's weird. Again, we will be able to end up getting the gems out of D15, rarely. I'm very curious what the cost is going to end up being for those gem converters. Like, that genuinely scares me. I really hope that we can get it for qubits, because even then it's still going to be ridiculously time gated, and I'm assuming way too expensive. The other thing too that I find funny, how somebody actually data mined that all of this Mystic Gem stuff is in a folder labeled 2025 updates, not 2026, when the devs already confirmed that this update was going to be coming in 2025. I just didn't know that it was going to be this soon, so that's crazy. Oh, and then there's also whatever this thing is, the Battle Block Theater Battery, which apparently just gives you like a death-defying effect where it just reses you once or something. I don't know what this is. It was just one of the things that my buddy Spooky linked to me when he just data dumped all of this stuff. So again, we'll be able to experience all of this stuff very, very soon. TM. I'm expecting either next Tuesday or Wednesday, which is gonna kind of suck for my schedule because we're going to have Gamescom going on at the same time. So I'm gonna be a very, very busy boy next week. Oh my God. But yeah, this is still exciting stuff, despite the fact that my tone in this video might be a little bit negative. A lot of it's just because all of my most horrific speculations seem to be coming true. And you know, this is all stuff that we ended up talking about during my live streams and speculating on and theorizing on. And it seems like they're just, sorry to say, they're putting the Mystic Gems in the laziest way that they possibly could. And I'm not saying that I expected them to do anything different, but it does kind of undermine it, at least in my opinion, the importance of how much, like, this should be like hype. This should be like really exciting. Now, that said, like I said before, I hate to be repeating myself. This is all just the data that we have so far. So maybe when we check out the new update on the test server, maybe it's like, oh man, there's like 50 new biomes or weird remix biomes. D15's been overhauled, you know, then it would be like, oh, then it would be exciting, because then at least we wouldn't just be grinding the same old crap so that we could get gems that have higher status numbers. Because that's my biggest gripe with the gems in Trove, is they're not a meaningful impact on gameplay. All they really do is just you equip them and then your stats go up. And your stats are arguably hidden away in a menu. It's not something that you reflective of gameplay, other than, oh, I'm dealing more damage, you know? But anyway, what are your thoughts towards it? Let me know what you guys think. I think this video is long enough in terms of getting into all of that stuff. I'm still very excited. Okay, don't take my negative criticisms to be confused with a lack of excitement that we're still, you know, gonna get Mystic Gems, because I still think it's cool. It's still gonna give me something worth grinding. I just hope that it's not going to end up being as egregious as Mystic gear, you know. And at the very least, it'll force me to go into D15 again. And the thing that I'm very excited for, that you might have picked up on earlier in the video, because we've got all of these gem boxes of all the different elements, that tells me that we're going to finally get D15 for every elemental world. That would be pretty cool if the elemental worlds aren't just the same world but higher scaling. Anyways, thanks for watching. Smash like, sub for more, buy the merch. You want to support the channel, and have yourselves a wonderful day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking forward to playing it, and I'll let you guys know as soon as I know something's going on.